Hi, and welcome back to the JavaScript Beginners tutorial series. In the previous tutorial, we looked at using events with JavaScript. So we looked at events like on click, on mouse over, and on mouse out to run pieces of JavaScript code, for example, when you clicked on a button. So we're going to do that again in this tutorial, but today we're going to use functions that we define ourselves. So we'll run a function when we click on a button. And we're going to look at how to define a function, so how to create our own function, and then how to call that function or run it. So before we use an on-click event on a button, we're going to make the function and then just run it as soon as the page loads. So to create a new function, you just use the function keyword, so function, okay. You write function, and then you type in the function name, so the name that you're going to give this function. Now, the function I'm making is simply just going to bring up a little alert message that says something like hello world or hello to the user. So I'm going to call this function say hello. Okay, so it's very similar to when you create a variable and you might write var say hello, but here we're writing function say hello because we're making a function. Okay, pop in the brackets, and then you need to add curly brackets, and that's where your code will actually go inside. So you can just enter down a couple of lines. All of your code will go inside these. So right here on line 10 is where my code is going to go. You can tab across. The function code goes here between these. Alright, now the code that I'm going to put in here is just a simple alert message. So I'll just write in alert hello world. Okay, and that's my function. Alright, so I've defined my function here. The function is called say hello, and what it does is it shows an alert message that says hello world. Okay, now I want to call this function. So I want to run the function when the page loads. So all I need to do to call the function is refer to its name. So say hello, brackets, and then semicolon. Okay, you can save that. Basically what's happening is I've defined the function here, so I've given it a name, and then I've specified what will happen when that function runs. And here I'm calling the function, so I'm asking the function to run. If I click on run, and then launching Chrome, it brings up this little alert message, hello world, as soon as the page loads. Okay, I go back. This time, instead of just running the function straight away, I want to run the function when I click on a button, so after an event. So I can delete this here. Don't need to call the function straight away, but we'll leave the function up here. It's defined up here. And in the body section of the page, I'm going to add a button. Okay, go form, go input type is a button, input type equals button, and value equals click here, and then we're adding an event, so on click, an on click event, and when we click on this button, the event, so the event is on click, and when we click on that button, we want to run this function up here, say hello. So all we need to do is put in the function name, brackets and semicolon, exactly how we called it before. But instead of just calling it when the page loads, we're calling it when we click on this button. Okay, so finish off that line, close that off, and now we can test that. So save it, Control S, and launch in Chrome. Okay, so this time the alert message hasn't come up when the page loads, but when we click on this button here, it brings up the alert message. Okay, so it's a pretty simple function. All it's doing is displaying a little alert message. It's not much fun, not too exciting, but when you start making your own programs, you will need to make your own functions. And that is basically how you set up a function. So you can have whatever code you want in here, and you don't have to use a button. You might be able to click on an image instead, or something else. It doesn't have to be a button. But you can put whatever code you like in your function and run that, and you can have functions working together. But that is how you set up a function. So it's how you define your function, and that is how you call your function. Okay, now this function has no parameters. So basically, it's just doing whatever's specified in here when we define the function. It's not working with any parameters. But you can use one parameter in JavaScript, or you can use multiple parameters, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So where we have up here function say message, and I might just get rid of this button now. We'll just keep it up here in the script section. Where we have function say hello, I'm going to change this to function say. Okay, because we're not just going to say hello. We're going to specify a message later on when we call the function. Okay, so I'm saying function say, and then I'm going to put in message inside these brackets. Okay, and then I'm going to change this here. I'm going to get rid of the quotation marks and the hello world, and I'm going to put say message. Okay, so I've got function say, and then in brackets message, and then we have an alert here which displays the message, but we don't know what the message is. So we've got those parameters that we're going to use. We don't know what the message is. However, we will specify the message when we actually call this function. So if we go down and we run this function say, and remember before when we ran the function say hello, we just had say hello and then empty brackets with the semicolon. Well, this time we're using just the function say, but inside those brackets we're going to specify our message here. So hello world, or hello user, or hello there. Okay, so whatever you want to write in here. Okay, and leave the semicolon there, and let's test this. So run in Chrome, and here we're going to message saying hello world. Okay, so basically we have created a function, and we've set inside this bracket here, we're using the word message, and then we're saying alert message. Okay, but when we call the function down here, it's saying say hello world. So in this bracket here we have a argument, and that argument is the message, and the message is specified when we call the function, so not when we actually define the function. Okay, and that can be useful when you don't know what alert message you're actually going to say yet. You might grab some information from the user, and you don't want to permanently set this function to always just say hello world. You might, for example, want to grab information from the user, such as their name, and you could say a message back, hello, and then their name, or something like that. So that's using, we've set message here as a parameter, and we're using that when we call the function. We're specifying what the actual message is in there. Okay, that is with one parameter, but you can use multiple parameters. So for this example, I'm going to delete all this. For this example, we're going to do some calculations. We're going to do some math. So we're going to do function, and then I'm going to call the function add. So we're just going to get this function to add some numbers. Now, inside here, we're in the brackets, instead of just one parameter, we're going to add two parameters. Okay, they're going to be x and y. Okay, so we're going to add x and y together. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to add the code here for our function. Okay, what we need to do is we need to make a new variable. So var answer equals x plus y. Okay, and then we're going to actually write the answer to the screen, display the message on the screen. So we'll use document.write, and then in brackets we'll have answer. Okay. Alright, so basically we're setting up this function here to have two parameters, x and y, and then we're making a new variable here called answer, and the answer is equal to x and y. Then we'll display the answer on the screen using the document.write method. Okay, so what we'll need to do is now use or call this function. To call it, we refer to the function name, add, and in brackets, just like we put up here, x and y, we can put in two numbers. Okay? So for x, we could put in 5, and for y, we could put in 15. And basically what this should do is add 5, which is x, and 15, or y, together, and we should get an answer of 20. Okay, so let's run this. Watching Chrome. And there you go, it says 20. Okay, so we've used two parameters here, and we can use more than two parameters. Now we could say x, y, and z, and var answer could equal x plus y plus z. Then if we go down here, we can add another parameter. We could say 20. Okay, so the answer should now be 40 if we run that. There we go. Okay, so we've looked at how to make a function without setting any parameters. We've now looked at how to make a function with one parameter, so with the say message example, and now we looked at how to make a function with multiple parameters. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.